morning, Scouts. Happy New Year. It's about 5 a.m. New Year's Day. We finally made it to 2021. Um, I wanted to show you a project that I've been working on. You guys might find it interesting. Um, and hopefully you'll be able to get to see it in person at some point soon, I hope. We'll have to see how things go. But anyways, some of you might know, some of you don't. I tinker with a lot of different things, but I do some electronics and some programming. And I have a small device, which is a microcontroller, excuse me, kind of like a little computer chip with a display. And I had it for a while, never really did anything with it, and I finally decided I'm going to build a portable weather station that you can carry when you're hiking. So let me show it to you. What you're looking at right now is a prototype board that my dad built. So this was built back in the late 70s, and I was able to inherit it. So I can tell you more about that if you're interested. Just let me know. So anyways, this is my little portable weather station. Still working on it. But as you can see, it has temperature. It will have humidity. I have to get a new module for it. And wind speed. And then with wind speed, you can calculate wind chill. It also has barometric pressure and the altitude. Barometric pressure should be accurate. Altitude is kind of based on some generic numbers, so it might be a little off. It's also based upon the barometric pressure, so it kind of calculates what it is. And then I also have the time at the bottom. So let me open up this little plastic case. This is a case that some parts came in, electronic parts. I just kind of repurposed it. So this little board is what has a processor on. I soldered it to this little circuit board. It has a dual core processor. It's got 3 buttons on the bottom, SD card slot. So I'm actually recording all the data to the SD card, so I can pull it out and import that data file into something like Excel and do charts and some pretty cool stuff with it. So this right here is a sensor that does the temperature and barometric pressure. If I spent like $1 more, and I think this one was $5, if I spent $1 more, I could get it. It's a bigger brother that also does humidity. So I'm going to be ordering that soon. And I don't have to do any changes other than solder it onto these wires. The 2 batteries, they're actually cells out of an old laptop battery that had lived its life. These are 5-volt cells, so I have them hooked up in parallel. And this board has its own charging circuit in for a 5-volt battery. So when I plug it in through the micro SD port, I can charge these. What's really cool about this, and I haven't hooked it up yet, is I can get it right here. Hook up the USB port, and guess what? Now I can also charge my phone. That's cool. So with having 2 cells in there, it's a little heavy, heavier than I wanted it to be, but it serves multiple purposes. The other thing I have is a strip of LEDs, high intensity LEDs on the back, and they can change colors. And now I'm working on that. I'm having issues with the buttons on this, So I might have to get some external buttons also, so I don't have to open the case to do it. But like at nighttime, when you're going to sleep, you might want to turn it off, or you can turn it to all red. Then you have an indicator of where it's at, or like if you just, I'm going to put a loop of paracord on, you're just hanging on a tree, you know, you're sitting at the campfire. This has the lights on so you can tell where it's at, or you can use that as a flashlight or whatever. It could be cool. I had bought these last year for another project that I was working on, and they're actually pretty cool. But again, I can go into that in more detail if you're interested. So the other thing I'm trying to work on is to measure wind speed. And what I have so far is this little fan. I actually added these blades on so it picks up slower wind speeds. It's just pieces of thin plastic, but it actually works. This is a fan out of a computer. It's a processor cooling fan. Processor cooling fans, especially newer ones, have 3 wires going in. And you have your DC voltage, your ground, and it has a sensor on it already to determine RPMs. So all I have to do is hook that up, and I should be able to tell how many RPMs this is doing, and then I can calculate wind speed. Pretty cool, huh? So, like I said, I'm still working on this. I'm having some minor issues, but this will be cool. And so far it cost me about $35, because this little board was about $30, and that little sensor for the temperature and barometric pressure was $5. The other thing I want to do is for $10 I can buy a GPS module, and then I can also track where I'm at. What does that matter? I don't know. It'd be cool to have that data, especially if you pull it into like Excel. So say you're going to hike the Appalachian Trail for a day. You now have an exact record of temperature and all your weather data tied to your GPS position. Again, I don't know if that's useful or not, but still pretty cool. It's amazing the things you can do with electronics and some programming. And again, I can get into a lot of this in more detail if any of you are interested. We can always do a Google Meet, or maybe set some time aside at a scout meeting. Whatever you want to do, I'm open. If you want to do something in person, we're going to have to wait a while, because not really, don't really think that's a safe thing to do at this point, but we're getting there. One more thing I wanted to show you, sitting right in front of me. So I have this, it's stuck to the table. So I had bought this cheap motion sensor light, and it fell off the wall. It had a sticky thing on the back. Fell off the wall and broke. So guess what? I got parts in there. One thing I'm going to do is pull the solar panel off, which I have to measure, but I believe it puts out 5 volts. So if it puts out 5 volts and I tie it into this, guess what it's going to do? Charge the batteries. You know, will it charge them really fast? No, but every little bit helps. And it has the its own battery, which is a 5-volt battery. So it's got a little switch on it too that I could use to turn this on and off. You can't see it. See, you can mount that little switch on the box, and I can turn everything on and off without having to open it. So, hope you guys are all doing okay. If anybody's interested in learning more about electronics or programming or microcontrollers, please let me know. It is a lot of fun. It can be challenging, but sometimes challenging is a lot of fun. So you guys take care, and I hope to hear from you soon.